Welcome back to my mental health and crime channel. My name is Huda London. This is the case of the Idaho quadruple murders. May the four victims rest in peace, condolence to their families, and may the correct justice be served. It's been 16 months since the Idaho quadruple murders took place. The court case hasn't still started. I believe it's going to be somewhere in June 2025 or July. Today's latest update was that Brian Christopher Koberger and his team, that's Ann Taylor's defense attorney, have the right to continue the survey that they started, which is perfect news. Because usually in high-profile cases, they are allowed to conduct surveys so that they can find out if it's necessary to move the trial, which I personally believe it's necessary because Brian Christopher Koberger is entitled to get a fair trial, and the four students, may they rest in peace, are entitled to get the correct people or correct person arrested. Brian Christopher Koberger allegedly has an alibi. He's submitted his partial alibi, which says that he was in YYY Park. I apologize if the pronunciation is wrong, but it's native Indian, so it is a bit difficult name. It's YYY Park. He was watching the moon, the stars, and he was basically stargazing. We don't know if that alibi is 100% legit, but apparently they have pictures to back that up. And we'll just have to wait to see until the trial starts. From the beginning of this case, my focus has been on the fraternities, especially the Sigma Chi. I remember in the beginning I was getting so much heat from many people who used to come and leave messages in my comments saying, leave the fraternities alone and they have nothing to do with this. And now I see many YouTube creators actually not only bringing the Sigma Chi fraternity to awareness and the 4chan articles, but it's a bit disappointed that many people are still not giving credit where it's due. Because many of the clips that people are putting up I can see directly that they're my clips, and I can't be bothered to complain about that anymore. I would rather that they take it and spread the awareness, but just be fair enough to mention when they have got that from. When I get my stuff from any other channel, I'm quite good at saying that this belongs to JLR, subscribe to his channel, or the interview room, or Grizzly True Crime. To get a fair trial, it is important that this case has to be moved from this whole area, Idaho, Moscow. I would like to go back to the beginning of this case, which I usually do. I personally believe that if a timeline is wrong, then nothing fits. Like Johnny Cochran, O.J. Simpson, his lawyer, may he rest in peace. Whether he's a good or bad person, every human being deserves to rest in peace, I guess. So Johnny Cochran says, if it doesn't fit, better call it a quit. So if the timeline doesn't fit, it's not going to make sense. The reason I say that if the timeline doesn't fit is if you remember from the beginning, they said it was 3 to 4 a.m. that this horrific quadruple murders happen. I do understand that sometimes in the beginning of the case, you can never get everything right. So the more information that comes in, obviously, the detectives and officers have to get the investigation in progress so that they could see if new information has come out that the crime could have happened earlier or later. That I agree. But this timeline was changed. I personally believe it was changed for a certain purpose. A purpose so that it could suit the Hyundai Elantra, the white Hyundai Elantra, and so that it could suit Brian Christopher Koberger. That's what I personally believe. And I'll tell you why. If you give me a moment, let me explain why. If Brian Christopher Koberger was seen in that area between 4 or 5 past 4 to 4:30, and if the murders happened between 2 to 3 or 3 to 4, then they can't make Brian Christopher Koberger's white Hyundai Elantra, fit with the timelines. That's why I believe the timelines was changed. And then, let's not forget, in the beginning of this case, we were told that Dylan Mortensen, DM, was sleeping in the first floor. I personally believe that to prove to a jury and to prove to the courts and to get the public to be on your side is much easier and it's much more, it's much more reasonable for them to have a witness. A witness that wasn't allegedly even sleeping on the second floor. The reason that I say that is we were told that DM was sleeping in the first floor. So if DM told the police she was sleeping in the first floor, I would assume she told them the truth. But then, for 7 weeks later, for the police to say that we found the white car that we were searching for, the timeline of the murders have been changed, then they have to fit the witness in. Then it's easier to get. I'm not saying that's what happened, but I'm saying this is what I think has happened. It is easier for them to put Dylan Mortensen as a witness, saying that she saw Brian Christopher Koberger, a man with bushy eyebrows, athletic build, with a ski mask or with a half mask. She saw him go in and out. Now, let's not forget, let's use our common sense. This house is a creaky old house. So if DM is trying to tell us, the public, that she and the police, that she opened the door thrice, not once, not twice, 3 times, yeah? She opened the door 3 times. She heard first, she heard something or somebody that sounded like they were playing with Murphy the dog. Then she opened the door and closed the door, I believe. Then she heard, what's her name? She heard someone that sounded like Kaylee, but the police think it's Anna, who said, someone is here. I think someone's here. That's twice. Then she heard, what's it called? What was the right word? She heard whimpering. She heard whimpering from Xana's room and somebody saying, I'm here to help. Now picture a creaky old house. You open the door once, twice, thrice, and she's trying to tell us that the suspects, whether it's Brian Christopher Koberger, whether it's the Sigma Chi's, whether it's one person or multiple people, Dylan said that she opened the door three times. Is she trying to say that when an active murder is going on, that she's not scared? Now, if I heard somebody saying, I think somebody's here, and I heard Kaylee saying that in a frightened voice, and I heard the dog barking, and I heard Xana whimpering, and I heard someone from Xana's room saying, don't worry, I'm here to help, I wouldn't have been opening my door more than one time, because she clearly heard Kaylee saying, I believe somebody's here. I'm sure most people, or at least I personally, would have closed my door the first time and called Kaylee's phone and asked, or Maddie's phone, are y'all all right upstairs? Because I heard somebody saying, Kaylee, I heard you saying, I believe somebody's here. Wouldn't that be the normal, common thing to do? Common sense would tell us to do that. But DM clearly said that she heard all those things. So that is why I personally don't believe DM is sorry by any means, because it doesn't make sense. You can't be opening the door. DM said that she heard clearly rummaging upstairs. That is what was told by certain sources from the mainstream media. She heard rummaging upstairs. And if she heard rummaging upstairs, she thought that it was the Sigma Chi boys who were upstairs last night. So that is the reason she called the Fraternity boys and the Sigma Chi boys, I guess, before the police in the afternoon, around 11 a.m. Now pay attention to one thing. Pay attention to the pattern of DM is nonsense. I hate to say that, but it's the truth. You heard so many things going on upstairs. Why wouldn't she call someone from the Fraternity boys immediately and ask, boys, is one of your guys upstairs? Some of your guys upstairs make a lot of noise. Wouldn't she have called? Another thing, let's pay attention to the crime scene photos. When you see the crime scene unit or team upstairs in the living room taking pictures, crime scene pictures, and with all the equipments and all that, at the living room and the corridor near the toilet, you even see them taking pictures of the steps, above the steps. They're taking pictures of where Bethany Funk's room goes. So is Bethany Funk trying to tell us that she didn't hear all the rummaging upstairs in the living room? Let's not forget another thing. In the living room, you have the good vibes picture. And you have the Good Vibes picture up in Kaylee's room too, I believe. I'm not sure about Maddie's room. But the Good Vibes picture in the living room shows clearly when it was dusted, 5 fingerprints came out, a whole hand. That makes me believe that somebody was fighting in the living room. That's the reason I personally believe that either the sliding door was left open on purpose so that the suspects could come in, or they came in from the first floor because, let's not forget, many people have the code to come inside. We heard that from Kaylee's own sister, Olivia. We heard that clearly. So if they came in with the code, or if the door was opened by Bethany Funk, then it would have been easier for them to have just ran upstairs from the first floor. Because let's not forget, Xana's dad said Xana was at home. He said, I called Xana at 12 at midnight and she was chilling at home with E. So was Xana and E at the Sigma Chi fraternity party, or were they at home? Daily Mail clearly told us that between 9 to between 9:45 to 1:45, no one saw Xana and Eaton. Why? In the grub truck, we heard people yelling out Xana's name somewhere between 2 to 2:15. We saw pictures that Jovita was watching. The girl next to him was watching it. Aiden with the long hair was watching. We zoomed into the pictures. I've shown you all that many, many times. Even yesterday, I replayed it. The reason I I sometimes put up a clip that I put up a couple of months ago is because I want that to get your attention and to get the newcomers in my channel is attention. What was happening in the grub truck, Banfield, may look like something innocent to some people. It just takes anyone. It takes anyone just 5 minutes of your time to just zoom in into what Mr. Vito is watching, Jovita from the grub truck, and then pay attention to the girl in black with the long curly hair that is blonde and black that she colored. Pay attention with that leather leggings, tight band. Pay attention to those two. Pay attention. Aiden is a bit smarter, the guy with the long hair. He doesn't show his pictures, but pay attention to the girl with the cowboy hat. Zoom into their pictures and pay attention to what they're watching. I think the mistake that Idaho Moscow police made was they should have never let that Banfield body cam video go up. They can see that we all are speculating on social media. Now you see many channels showing you the same pictures that I have shown you since May 2023. 23, and much before that too. You see those pictures going viral everywhere. But then the sad thing is I wanted it to go viral to the right people. It should have gone to Idaho Moscow police. I don't know if they're ignoring it. I hope Ann Taylor gets hold of those pictures, because what I'm trying to say is Brian Christopher Kohlberger could have been involved. I keep on repeating myself many times. I never said that he was innocent, but I said there's a very good chance that he could have been framed, because nothing makes sense with the timeline. What the three boys in Banfield are doing, and at the timing, what a coincidence that this was right near the girl's house. The direction they're coming out from could have been from Taylor Avenue, because all we could see is when they were stopped at the field. But you can see clearly that they're coming from that direction. Saeed, actually, I always pay attention to. I do my active listenings and I pay attention and observe the pictures and the videos that I'm watching. That's how I manage to find so much on the Banfield. Pay attention to the Banfield and observe, put your observation on everything that is going on. And I've mentioned that before, but I think I need to stress on this point. The three boys on Banfield, besides the guy with the pink hoodie, the other two boys, his clothes does not fit them. It's so strange. One has a clothes that is too big for him, a big shirt that is literally hanging from his arms, past his arms and his hands. The other one is wearing a shirt much smaller than him. One is wearing a tight pant that you can clearly see belongs to a female or something like that. The other one looks like his pant is too baggy. There's something going on with those three boys. On the other hand, Saeed. It's strange many people mention Saeed as seriously bushy eyebrows. For all you know, the bushy eyebrows could have been a red herring. The person who actually told me that makes sense is, I have to shout out, a big shout out to Denise Perry's. Denise is a very good subscriber, a friend of mine, and for the last couple of months, we try and check things together, and she's brought a lot to my attention in these last 3 months, 4 months, and before that even. So I really need to thank Denise. And Denise told me this could be a red herring so that people focus more on the eyebrows, which is very true. What doesn't make sense to me is there's so many things wrong with the Banfield clip. We can hear, what's her name, Maddie or Kaylee or a female yelling, "Stop it, stop. Stop it, stop." And that is at 2:56 and 14 seconds. That's 4 minutes to 3 a.m. And then at 03:12, you see the four figures running. The last call that Kaylee and Maddie made to Jack D was at 2:52, I believe. So this was just 2 minutes after, or 3-4 minutes after Jack D did not pick up. That can't be a coincidence. I spoke about Jack D having a white Hyundai 2013 model, very close to what the police were searching for. They were searching for 2011 to 2013 model. I heard he sold one of his white cars. I don't know if it's his white pickup or the white Hyundai Elantra. I always personally believed that there was 2 white Hyundai Elantras in the area that night. I believe one was from another suspect or suspects, because pay attention to Moscow Idaho police kept on saying we need to speak to the suspect or suspects that were inside the white car, Hyundai around. And the reason I believe that there was two cars is I believe there was actually a car roaming around between 2 to 4, maybe to 3:30, and I'm sure that is the car that the gas station picked up, because apparently that is very important. Let's not forget what Brian Christopher Koberger is saying in his alibi now. He's saying that he can prove that he was not in Idaho, Moscow, or not even driving across the highway. I still see some YouTube creators saying that, oh, he's lying and he's making excuses and all. Why would Ann Taylor, Brian Christopher Koberger can lie? He can lie, he can steal, he can do whatever. Ann Taylor wouldn't be telling our judge that this is the alibi and we can prove that he did not even make it to Idaho, Moscow highway. They wouldn't come with such nonsense to the judge. And let's not forget, Ann Taylor is searching for a better reputation and to be a more known death penalty attorney. She's not searching for nonsense to bring in front of the judge that the judge can throw back at your face. So there is something actually going on, and that makes me really believe that the alibi that Brian Christopher Koberger is saying, there is something there. But what I don't understand with Brian Christopher Koberger that makes me always believe that he could be involved is, why would you have your phone switched off? We live in a modern world. We live in a world that technology is so powerful. We live in a world that everyone carries. It's their mobile device, their phone device, the iPad, the laptop around. So why would someone have their phone device off? The friend I was just shouting out to, Denise, I was giving her a shout out for her. I actually asked her last week. I said, Denise, have you ever had your phone switched off? And let me explain by what I meant by that. It's happened to me a couple of times. And obviously, I wouldn't be committing a crime. I'm a parent. I don't believe in crimes or crap. But to put it this way, it's happened to me, especially I can remember when I used to go to university a couple of years ago, that sometimes I was so tired or was having such a long day, or I could be just trying to ignore friends or maybe sometimes sisters, when nobody's perfect in life. Everyone has discussions and disagreements. And sometimes when I feel like it's too much, when my phone dies out, I don't bother to charge it. Or I charge it, but I put it in the charger and I waited for it to get into 100%. And I just wonder if anyone of my subscribers or viewers watches this and works in a phone company and knows about such things, or phone data engineers, or a detective could actually answer me that. What happens when your phone is switched off and just say your phone dies off completely and you put it in the charger and you think, I'm not going to bother with it, tomorrow early I have to go to work, so let it charge fully. I want to know, does it show that the phone is switched off, or does it show the phone is switched off charging? What does it show? Because it happens to all of us at times, and that doesn't mean we committed a crime. So, could it be possible, just a question, that Brian Christopher Koberger had his phone switched off because he wanted to take. Is it possible that Brian Christopher Koberger put his phone on flight mode so that nobody would call him or he doesn't get disturbed while he's taking pictures of the sky, the stars, the moon? Is that possible, or is that a fair stretch? Is that a far stretch? I'm just wondering. Because if it is true what he's saying and what Ann Taylor is saying, that they can prove that he wasn't on the highway and that he didn't pass the gas station or whatsoever, or that he wasn't anywhere near Idaho, Moscow, then you simply have a problem. He's definitely have a problem. So my question is, could DM be lying, or is it BF? Brian Christopher Koberger said from the start when he was arrested, I'm innocent and I'm going to prove my innocence, that I'm innocent, I'm going to be exonerated. And he said that Bethany Funk is his exculpatory evidence witness. We know that she refused to come down, or she refused them, Ann Taylor, to take an interview and statements of her when she was in Idaho, Moscow. So they had to go down to Nevada and take it. What kind of exculpatory evidence does BF have? I believe something really powerful. The reason I say that, and I believe it's not a red herring, not only did Brian Christopher Koberger said that in his affidavit, he said that again in his alibi a couple of days ago. What does BF know? What is she hiding? Or is Brian Christopher Koberger trying to use her as his exculpatory evidence or alibi? I showed you all recently, if you go back to my channel, I believe 5, 6, 7 days ago, you see the clip of BF is Venmo payments. There's messages like Charlie, cocaine, such things. She's talking about many different things. Like not her, but somebody sent a payment on Venmo and said clearly, coke. Are they talking about cocaine? There was different kind of messages going on, and we know that this was a party house. We can't sit and lie or hide it anymore. I'm not saying that to put the victims down. That's the reason I haven't moved on to any other case. I want the most fair justice for these 4 victims. But to try and get justice, everything has to be in the open. You can't pick and choose what you want to hide, what you want to take, what you don't want to take. And for me to get my research right, it's not my case, I'm not a detective. And I was a detective saying, oh, if they want to investigate a case so much, why don't they go to their detective course or sign up for something like that? I enjoy being a cognitive behavior therapist and a mental health counselor, a licensed one. I believe there's more in mental health that I really love than solving crimes. But if I really care about a case, I jump on it so that I do my own research and my own study on it. And although this is not my department, obviously none of us know exactly what happened. The surviving roommates could be completely innocent, and I hope so. But what doesn't make sense is everyone was ruled out within the first week. At the same time, we had Chief Fry saying that I never said, he told the reporter from was it ABC News? He said, I never said that the surviving roommates were witness. I said they were just there. So Chief Fry didn't want to call them witnesses, but 7 weeks later, he decided to call them both witnesses. He decided to say that DM was upstairs. Could it be possible? I'm just asking. That the surviving roommates, or just say if one of them was involved, the police could have said, we'll give you an offer you can't refuse. I am not saying that that's what they did, but let's not lie. There are many innocent people sitting in jail. We've heard of such cases. And that's why the Brady Giglow order, the Brady Giglow or Giglow, is when the police have to submit any internal affairs investigation going on, which there is one going on in this case, or they have to submit when the evidence is not being submitted in, like in this case, but the trial hasn't started, then Ann Taylor has the right to file for Brady Giglow violation, I think it is, because everything has to be shared with the defense attorney. I like to end by wishing everyone a lovely week. Condolence to the families. May the correct justice be served for these 4 precious victims. The Sigma Chi fraternity boys, the sororities, the people who are rummaging upstairs, the grand jury, it was leaked out, said that BF and DM were texting each other. All of that needs to be brought to light. Grub Truck, Banfield, all the pictures that they're watching that looks like E and Zan on the floor, allegedly, need to be investigated. They say actions speak louder than words. Your eyes can't deceive you, remember that. And before I end this clip, I'd like to give you all a good example, which I'm sure I've given you all before. When I first brought it to people's attention, the Banfield, many people say, Banfield seems to be my favorite, they say. No, not only Banfield. Banfield and the Grub Truck are my favorite 2 clips, and the 4chan and the 4 figures running, because it's like, they are like gifts that never stop giving. So when I brought into everyone's awareness and attention of what Saeed was watching on the Banfield clips, let's not forget, whatever Saeed was watching contained some pictures that were disturbing. One with somebody with a white mask. You could see only the eyes. One with someone who looked like Kaylee sitting on the bed, allegedly. And that is why I wanted to mention this. When many people were telling me way back in May, June, it's a blurry figure, how could you know that it's Kaylee sitting on the bed, and stop doing this and don't bring this out if it's not true? We heard clearly Kaylee's mother and father saying Kaylee was found in the sitting position. I'm not a psychic, so I didn't make this up. I'm sorry, I'm not saying psychics make up things, but I'm saying psychics get a vision or whatever. I didn't get a vision. I just used my cognitive behavior skills to see directly. I was watching everything that was going on in the Banfield, and it didn't make sense to me. It didn't sit right with me. Saeed said he lived in Taylor Avenue because he pointed that way. The three boys said they did not know where they were coming from. How could you go to a party and you don't know where the party was held or who was in the party? Only one of them got it right, or we don't know if he got it right. He said only one of them said that the person's house they were in was Matt's. He said, I think his name is Matt's on top of that. I wonder who Matt is. I wonder if Matt is the boy that, do you remember the day the cops came to Kaylee and Hunter? And they just knocked at the sliding door and they came outside. Do you remember the house they came from where Jack D lives? I wonder if that is Matt and if the party was held there. But I personally believe they were lying. There was many parties going on that day, but it depends. It could be possible that the boys heard that Matt was having a party. That's why they used Matt's name. That is very possible. They did not look like that they knew where they came from, because they didn't come from Matt's house. I believe they came from Kaylee Maddie's house. And if you go back to the clip where the police, Idaho Moscow police, come to Kaylee and Hunter and they come outside, pay attention to when Hunter comes out and Kaylee comes out. The sliding door, when they open it, makes so much noise. So even if you were sleeping, you would have heard the noise of the sliding door. Another red flag. And I pointed that out a long time ago. You'll need to check that. And I'll make another clip of that so you can see. DM and BF need to come clean. Whether BF was at home or not, the affidavit says she was at home. But even if she was not at home, I could understand why she was scared. But you see usually BF with pictures with Maddie and Xana. Doesn't she want justice for her friends, is the question. And if BF knows, just say that Brian maybe came to the area to buy something else, to buy something, or to see someone, and she has the exculpatory evidence, then she should be fair and come clean with it. Even if she's not involved and she knows DM knows more than she's saying, these people are clearly protecting the fraternities and the sororities. Idaho Moscow is doing that so that they can protect them, because if they don't protect them, who's going to come? Which parent in the United States or in the foreign world would want to send their children to Idaho Moscow in the future? So they have to keep their reputation. I believe that's why they went and changed this whole thing. As for the knife sheet, if you ask me, I am the one who says it out straight. I haven't heard any other person saying it. Yes, the knife sheet could have been planted, framed, call it whatever you want. It could have been framed. BK is being framed for this. It could have been planted there so that they could frame him. The reason I say that is, let's not forget, many people went upstairs to the second floor, found the couple, one in the corridor and one in the floor of the bedroom. That was Xana. And the reason I say corridor, there are some people who try to say that it's the Sigma Chi boys or the fraternity boys or Hunter who told them where Eve was found. No. Like I said, your eyes can't deceive you. You can see, and your ears, because Ashley Banfield was right when she said that she heard from her sources that E was found between the corridor and the room. And I've proven that many times by showing you all the clip from Code TV where you clearly see the forensic team taking pictures of the living room. And you can see them taking pictures of the corridor to Xana's room. So what happened there? Especially the floor of the corridor. That's where E was found, unfortunately. This brutal quadruples could have happened inside or outside, but it's most likely inside. And there was something written on the wall. it was the Fox News guy said, Malta, this crime was so brutal that there was blood on the walls. How did the police know it was targeted? Was there something written on the wall? Did the Sigma Chi fraternity boys write something allegedly? Because they were so good in explaining how they were going to do this crime in the 4chan. 19 minutes, no phone devices taken so that they don't catch the Wi-Fi. And we saw the 4 figures running. Let me know. Please have a lovely week. Take care. Justice for the children.